welcome back. What does it mean to be Sri Lankan? To whom does Sri Lanka belong? Is diversity a danger or a resource? Dr. Dayan Jayatilleka attempted to answer some of these questions recently when he delivered the 12th Bakirmaka oration on the topic Challenges in Strengthening Sri Lankan Identity.
The Bakirmaka oration commemorates the life and work of a well-known Muslim leader who was a Speaker of Parliament, a lawyer, an active politician from the late 50s until his death in the 1990s. Bakirmaka was himself a great orator who recognized the value of inter-community relations in Sri Lankan society.
Catalyze the process.
In his lecture, Mr. Dayan Jayatilleka emphasized the relevance of this, as well as the topic of the 12th annual oration at this juncture in the history of the country.
What do we really mean? What does it mean to be a Sri Lankan? Let me put it even more boldly or crudely. To whom does Sri Lanka belong? This is the crucial question. This is the crucial question. And let us face it squarely. I submit that there are, broadly speaking, three views on this. These may not be explicit views. In some cases, they are explicitly stated. But in many cases, they are the implicit coordinates of policy. What are these three views? One view is that Sri Lanka belongs to the few. The other is that Sri Lanka belongs to the many. The third view, which I believe is the only way to build a successful Sri Lankan identity, is the notion that Sri Lanka belongs equally to all of its citizens, irrespective of whether they happen to be members of an ethnic or linguistic or religious majority or minority, of the equality of citizenship. That Sri Lanka is a country that belongs to all Sri Lankans is something that we shall have to fight for. Now, that's a relatively simple idea, surely. We live on a little island. We can either consider ourselves as members of a single family, but as in any and every family, members are diverse, they are different from each other. Or we can continue to consider ourselves as warring tribes who will continue to fight each other for hegemony or our own independent space on this small island. We can, if we opt for the latter course, continue to waste more time, more resources, more lives, and blight our future while failing completely to fulfill the magnificent potential that we have.
Dr. Jayatilleka reminded his audience that this post-war period is a rare chance to grasp the moment and make the right decisions. He feels that there is reason to worry that this opportunity to rebuild a united Sri Lanka may otherwise be lost.
I am worried about the gulf between our peoples, which prevent us from pooling our talents, our capabilities, our resources, and flourishing as a nation, as a country. Now, we have to face, as I said, the question of to whom Sri Lanka belongs, a few, the many, or all. And we also have to face certain other allied questions. Is diversity a danger or is it a resource? The war is over, but the struggle is not. There is another generation of young people born and educated in the West who are deeply alienated from Sri Lanka. how is that challenge going to be met? It cannot be met with firepower, because that's not where, in the first place, it's not a military challenge, and in the second place, they're not here. It has to be met through soft power, brain power, education, struggle in the Western media, in the corridors of power, in Washington, in London, in Brussels. Now, that's not a battle that Sri Lanka is geared for right now. It's a battle we will lose if we do not revise our notions of what it is to be Sri Lankan, if we do not construct an inclusionary Sri Lankan identity that is based on equality and merit. That battle, we will find it very difficult to win. It is only if we are able to open our minds and our hearts and use our brains and modernize, democratize our notion of Sri Lankan identity. If we are able to break the chains that enslave our minds, it is only then that we will be able to achieve the defeat of renewed attempts at secessionism, which are based overseas and hope to leverage powerful countries outside the region. It is only then that we will be able to fulfill our potential as a country and a nation. And it is only then that we will be able to move proudly, reaping the benefits of our splendid military victories, and shine in the 21st century.